Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Monday the 31st of July comes to you from Cowes on the Isle of Wight in England. I'm here for the annual Cowes Week sailing regatta. So sailing in the day, but just keeping an eye on the markets for my portfolio in the morning and just sharing with you. So we start by looking at the dollar index. Dollar still bearish below the cloud. We're seeing these downside targets still pushing. There seems to be a little bit of support around this 93.25 level. So we are just seeing some short-term support, but whether that will hold is hard to say. With these downside targets, it probably looks unlikely. But the dollar is clearly bearish on all three time frames, which means the euro against the dollar is actually looking bullish on all three time frames. Again, a little bit of resistance around this 117.50 area. So it'll be interesting to see whether we'll break that. We've got lots of upside targets, which suggests we will. Looking at the Japanese yen, you see here the yen is strengthening, dollar weakening, so yen is looking strong again. And looking at sterling, we see here we're above the cloud, so we're bullish against the dollar, but still bearish long term. But again, 131.50 seems to be a bit of a short term resistance level. Against the euro, sterling is weaker, bearish on all three charts, and with downside targets to the 110 area, does suggest we're going back to test this low that we saw last autumn. Looking at the Swiss franc, we see sterling is actually looking stronger here. And against the Australian dollar, we're also above the cloud, but it is weaker long and medium term. So we expect the sterling move there to be short-lived. The US stock market, the S&P 500 index recovered slightly on Friday after a big fall on Thursday. The Nasdaq also recovered, so we're still bullish. We're bullish above the cloud, but Thursday's sell-off did spook the market a bit. And the Dow Jones is actually looking stronger, with all three charts looking very bullish, making new all-time highs. The Russell 2000 index also holding its bullishness, but just again a sell-off there on Thursday, but holding on at the moment. And the S&P future looks much the same, and the Nasdaq E-mini down very slightly, but this has turned bearish below the cloud, so this just is a little bit worrying. Nasdaq just having jitters at the moment. FTSE 100 in the UK closed down on Friday below the cloud, so we are just seeing again short-term selling pressure there, and the FTSE 250 actually is holding its trend, so it's looking a bit better. The DAX has looked quite bearish the last couple of weeks, the medium-term chart turning bearish, and the short-term chart bearish. And looking at the Nikkei, we're seeing also here that's looking bearish as well. The Hang Seng index is up on all three time frames, so this is looking bullish, up 1% today. And the Shanghai index also looking strong there, and coming into long-term bullishness, so China is starting to look pretty good. The Indian market looking pretty good still, bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, and the Australian market recovering somewhat, but still very mixed on that short-term picture. Brent crude continues its rise. It's back to bullish above the cloud. We're back into the 50s. It's looking better than it has been. But of course, this 55 level is the May high. That will be the key. Will we see another wave of sell-off? And WTI also looking bullish. So crude oil looking much better after last week. US nat gas just can't get back above the $3 mark, and we're now into the 280s, 288, looking bearish there. And copper has really just had this stellar rise, looking for a breakout in the short term, but looking very, very strong. Going straight to gold. Gold is bullish above the cloud on all three charts, so we're just pushing towards this 12.98 target on gold, so that's pretty key. And silver, we're seeing much the same picture, so that's really quite key as well. So we're also seeing the euro bund and the 10-year yield on the US market just starting to look a bit bearish there too, just below the 230 level. Apple did have a massive sell-off on Thursday, but holding its ground. Google also holding its level as well, but bearish below the cloud. And Amazon falling back but still above the cloud. Facebook, a standout, had very good results last week and is looking very bullish on all three time frames. And Microsoft still holding its bullishness as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.